I did my presentation over access to healthcare. The title of my paper was Who You Are Affects Your Health. And I kind of chose that title because, like, who you are meaning race, socioeconomic class, and gender, and any of your gender choices, like transgender, anyone in the LGBTQ community. Nope, I got it. Okay. Why I chose this topic. The denial of healthcare for no reason is what I put on here. A little bit about that. Some people are denied healthcare for the silliest reasons, like you don't have, or you're a different color of skin, so I won't be treating you based off of stereotypical biases. I believe that we should each have an equal and opportunity for care. That's another reason I chose this topic, so that one kind of self-explanatory. No one is born with the choice of who they are. We don't come out of the womb saying we want to be poor. Sometimes we're just born into it. We don't come out of the womb being able to choose our skin color either, or our gender. Later on in life, there are options to choose your gender, but we don't come out of the womb with that choice. Lastly, my dad. He was on the Angel Tree as a kid. He had food stamps, and he told us as kids that he didn't have immediate access to health care. Him and his siblings kind of had to fend for themselves. They didn't have transportation. So that's a little background on why I chose this topic. I looked at 3 different studies. One was over race and COVID testing, and that one kind of looked at, like, in my research paper, I stated that Chicago is the highest populated, but also the highest discrimination city in America. So where there is more populated African Americans, there was less COVID testing sites. So they had access to less of that COVID testing, which led to a delay in their medical care and increased their morbidity rates and their hospitalization and the more people that got infected. The next one I looked at was its socioeconomic status and how transportation affected how people got health care. It's a big issue. If you don't have access to a vehicle to get you to a medical facility, it is shown that that will increase your chances of delaying medical treatment until it gets really bad. And the last one I looked at was gender. The discrimination in the LGBTQ community specifically. I tried to focus more on transgender because I know that LGB and Q are all sexualities. There's a lot of discrimination against gender and where they get health care and who treats them, and especially with women in, like, the military and such for prenatal care. My personal reflection, I thought race, we could get classes into each healthcare facility to teach us about how we can attack those social biases and stereotypes over other people. I think that would really decrease judgment. For socioeconomic status, I thought that maybe we could include some more free clinics in the society near more poverty-heavy areas. And it would not hurt for all of us to throw in a little volunteer work in these free clinics as well, just to help out those people who aren't super set for money. And I also thought maybe we could have volunteers driving around and picking up the homeless and taking them to these free clinics because transportation is obviously an issue. The last one, gender, I think that kind of goes along with race. We need to take classes and have those implemented into healthcare facilities to kind of bring awareness to the stereotypes and biases we face every day. I also think as far as transgender goes, that we should have, like, clinics specifically made for people of the transgender community, because that would bring a more at-home feeling to them. Like, we obviously have retirement homes for the elderly, like rehab for disabled. Why can't we have something that will make them feel a little bit more comfortable? Because it is hard to fight those biases, and we can't just not hire a doctor because they have a certain bias. The action plan is, for myself, is I'm going to learn, try to educate myself more on the wants, needs, beliefs, etc. of the different races and genders and socioeconomic statuses. I think we as a group need to be more open-minded when we walk into rooms with a patient and not just like, oh, her skin color is different than mine, she's probably going to act different. And then me as myself, I could put in more volunteer work to help out the socioeconomic group. In the future, I hope to maybe volunteer at a free clinic. In conclusion, we just need to do better all together as the United States. We need to fight for equity, make it equal opportunity for everybody to get health care and treatment and all that. So